Do you ever turn on your computer, open the Start menu, and it feels like you are walking into a stranger's house? You probably do this every single day. It is packed with things that you don't really use, recommendations that you don't care about, and it feels like an obstacle rather than a tool. You might just think this is how Windows is and you just have to live with it. But what if I told you you can make the Start menu your personal control center, clean, organized, and efficient? And it can also be your personal dashboard. Before we get to it, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share for others to benefit from the channel. Welcome to another episode on Make the Most TV. If you are new to the channel, I'm Apong, and on this channel, we turn difficult tech tasks into simple, smart tech tips each time, so we make productive use of our smart devices. On this episode, we take a look at our Start menu. We are going to customize our Start menu or transform our Start menu into our personal dashboard. Before we get to it, don't forget to subscribe and do share for others to learn from this channel. Are you still using the same old boring Windows 11 Start menu? I'm going to make the Start menu personal and more productive to you as you use your computer. Let me tell you a quick story. Last week, I helped a friend who kept complaining that her computer was slow. But really, her computer was doing all the heavy lifting. Icons everywhere, files and folders everywhere. From 2018, apps are scattered all over. So I asked her one simple question. Why don't you use your Start menu? She looked at me like I had just asked her to solve calculus. But after 5 minutes of personalization, her PC didn't just look different, it felt different. It felt like home. First, pin apps by clearing the chaos. So what we did was, we first freed her desktop. Instead of dumping everything on the screen, we pinned only what mattered. It's like moving your favorite tools from the floor into an organized drawer. Clean, simple, and instant. To build a better Start menu, we have to tear down the old one. We need a clean slate. Right now, the Start menu is probably a mess of pre-installed bloatware, apps you opened once 3 months ago, and that recommended section. That's anything, but let's start with pinned apps. This is that grid at the top where icons for the Microsoft Store, Mail, and maybe even TikTok. There is IG just sitting there taking up space. We're about to do a very satisfying digital purge. For every single app in that pin section, we are going to right click and select unpin from the Start menu. Don't overthink it, just unpin everything. Seriously, everything. We have to clear out the noise before we can focus on what's important. It's like emptying a messy drawer before you put organizers in. You have to take it all out first. As you unpin each one, you will feel a sense of control coming back. We are telling Windows what she wants to see and not what it thinks it should see. Once your pinned area is a beautiful empty void, it's time to tackle the biggest offender, the recommended section. This area is supposed to show you recent files and new apps, but in reality, it just creates visual clutter and can even be a privacy issue if you share your PC. Getting rid of it is the single most important change you can make. To do this, we will dive into settings. Press your Windows key and then type settings, or just use the shortcut key Windows key plus I. Once you are in settings, go to personalization on the left hand menu and then click on Start. This is your Start menu command center. You will see a bunch of toggle switches. Your goal is to turn off everything that fits the recommended section. Look for toggles like Show Recently Added Apps,
Show recently opened items in Start, Jump List, and File Explorer, and show recommendations for tips, app promotion, and more. Just turn them all off. In the latest updates to Windows 11, doing this will make the entire recommended section disappear completely, giving you a huge amount of usable space. And if you don't want to toggle off or turn off these tabs, there are three layouts that you can choose between them. Either you use the default one or you choose more pins so that you can pin a lot of applications or folders so you can easily access them. Or you can choose more recommendations so that you can see recommended files or recently opened tabs or recently opened files on your start menu to help you stay productive when you are using your computer. Now, with our start menu completely decluttered, it's time for the fun part, rebuilding it to fit your workflow. This is where we go from just clean to uniquely yours. We are going to strategically pin the apps you actually use and then group them into logical folders. First, let's bring back your essentials. Click the All Apps button at the top right of the Start menu to see everything installed on the computer. Scroll through and think about your daily routine. What's the first app you open for work? What browser do you use? What are your go-to tools? For each app you see regularly, right-click on it and select Pin to start. Be intentional here. Don't just pin everything you might use. Stick to the absolute must-haves. Your browser, email, file explorer, main work software like Word or Photoshop or Premiere Pro, any editing software that you use, and your key communication apps like WhatsApp, Teams. The goal is to create a high signal, low noise space where every icon has earned its spot. As you pin them, they will pop up in the pin section. Once you have 10 to 15 of your most used apps, take a step back. It looks better, but it's still just a sea of icons. Now, let's give it some structure. This brings us to one of the most underrated features of the Start menu: folders. You can create folders right in the pinned area, just like on your phone. All you have to do is click and drag one app icon directly on top of another. Windows automatically groups them into a folder. How cool is that? Let's try it. If you have Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, drag the Excel icon onto the Word icon. A folder appears. Now, drag PowerPoint into that same folder. Click the folder to open it, and you will see Edit name at the top. Let's call it Work or Office. Now you can start thinking in categories. Do you have few Adobe apps like Photoshop and Premiere Pro? Drag them into a folder named Creative. Do you have games on your computer? You can also group them in folders. Do you use multiple browsers like Chrome, Firefox? Put them in a browsers folder. By the way, if your start menu is already looking way better and you are getting value from this, a quick click on the like button really helps the channel out. It tells me you want more of these fast, high impact Windows tutorials. Organizing with folders doesn't just look tidy, it builds muscle memory. You instinctively know where your work tools are or where your social apps are. It cuts down on the time you waste scanning for the right icon. Keep grouping your apps until you have a few logical folders and maybe a couple of super important standalone apps you want instant access to. You can also drag the folders themselves to rearrange them. So put your most used category at the top left for the quickest access. We have rearranged, pinned our essentials, and organized them into neat folders. The start menu is already 1,000 times better, but we can fine-tune it even more by jumping back into the settings. Press the Windows key plus I again to open settings and head back to personalization. Scroll down and click on Start. We were here before, but there's a few more powerful options to look at. In some versions of Windows 11, you will see a layout option at the top with choices like more pins or more recommendations. Since we've disabled the recommended section, more pins is the obvious choice here, giving your new folders and apps the maximum amount of space. However, on the very latest Windows 11 update, the drop down might not be there. The layout is more adaptive, and since the recommended section cannot be removed entirely, Windows automatically gives more space to your pins. You stay in control. You decide if and when a new app gets pinned, not Windows. Another powerful setting isn't for the start menu itself, but for the taskbar. Right-click an empty space on your taskbar and choose Taskbar Settings. Scroll down and expand Taskbar Behaviors. The first option is Taskbar Alignment. By default, it's set to center, which is the signature look for Windows 11. But if you are a long-time Windows user, moving the Start button back to the left might feel more natural. Change this to left and your whole taskbar shifts over. This is all personal preference, but it can make a huge difference in how comfortable you feel. The centered look is modern, but the left aligned option is a classic for a reason. It is time for a few professional touch to make your start menu exceptionally functional. We are going to add quick access folder shortcuts right next to your power button. Go back into settings, personalization, and click on the start tab one last time. Near the bottom, you will see a menu item called folders. Click on it. This screen is a hidden gem. It shows a list of system folders: File Explorer, Settings, Documents, Downloads, Pictures, and so on. By default, they are all turned off, but watch what happens when you turn one on. Let's turn on File Explorer, Downloads, and Documents, three of the most common locations for any user. Now, close Settings and click your Start menu. Look at the very button of the Start menu on the same row as your Power button. You will now see small, elegant icons for File Explorer, Downloads, and Documents. With a single click, you can jump directly to these key locations without needing to pin them in your main grid. This is incredibly efficient. You can add as many or as few as you like, creating a personalized dock for your core system folders. It turns that empty space at the bottom of your start menu into something genuinely useful.
Finally, we need a vibe, because a start menu with no flavor is basically a spreadsheet. What we did is we pick an accent color, enable it for your start menu and taskbar, and suddenly it's not just Windows, it's your Windows. When she was done, my friend said something I didn't expect. Wow, this actually makes me want to use my computer. And that's the thing. Personalizing your start menu isn't about colors or folders. It's about comfort. It's about making your digital world real, familiar, inviting, and yours. So if you want your PC to feel less like a stranger's apartment and more like your own home, try these simple tweaks today. If you found this video helpful, Hit like and subscribe to Make the Most TV for smart, simple tech tips, and tell me in the comments which color is your start menu now. I hope you found this video helpful. Do try it out and let me know in the comment section. Do like the video and share for others to enjoy. I'll see you in the next one.